Awesome. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in today. This session is going to be so valuable to you. So I hope you have your notepad and your pen ready so that you can take down points as you find them useful. And I want to let you know that the comment section is open so you can pop in and leave your questions to Sean at any point during the webinar. Let's wait for a couple of more minutes for some of our friends to join in, and then we'll get started. Um, We'll get started in about a minute, so hold on. I see a few of them joining in. And for those of you who are tuning in, maybe you could use the comment section and let us know where you're joining in from and introduce yourself to Sean, maybe, or pop in and say hi to Sean and hi to me as well. In the meantime, I want to let you know that we're incredibly excited to kick off Kenko's first webinar of 2025. And this topic is so amazing and so crucial to begin the year with. So I hope all of you are as excited as we are. I think we'll give it about a few more seconds and then get started. Just to let all of you know, we're recording this session, but we hope you stay tuned till the end because Sean will take some questions and answers, and it'll be great to hear right from him as to what you can solve your problems with. So make sure you're tuned in and use the comment section wisely. All right, let's get started. Thank you, everybody, for joining in today. And like I said, this is Kenko's first webinar of 2025. We love doing these webinars because you get to learn so much from industry experts. And in our industry, where knowledge is very hard to access, at Kenko, we want you to have open access to it. And today, we'll dive into how you can nail your studio's 2025 growth plan with our special guest, Sean Greeley. For those of you who don't know Sean, he's a genius when it comes to scaling and growing businesses, and he's also a friend of Kenko. Let me share with you Sean's remarkable journey and achievements. He's the founder and CEO of NPE. I'm sure everyone here has heard of it. And he's helped over 53,000 fitness businesses across 96 countries generate around 1 billion in revenue along the way. This is so fantastic, and this is why we're so excited that Sean's doing this workshop for us. And NPE has been featured 8 times on the Inc. 500 of 5,000's list of the fastest growing companies in the USA. And Sean leads his global team across USA, Canada, UK, Australia as well. Sean wears many hats. He's a dedicated coach, author, a speaker, and a family man who's passionate about helping fitness entrepreneurs like you build thriving 7-figure businesses. I can't wait for all of you to learn from Sean's expertise. Without further ado, over to you, Sean.
Yeah, thank you so much. Great to be here with you guys. Excited to talk about growing your studio in 2025. We're going to talk about 3 things today. We're talking about increasing profits, which is the most important thing in business. Profit is like oxygen for your business. We're going to talk about getting more clients. We're going to talk about building a team, which is going to give you some leverage and some freedom, which is really a benefit of doing it right when you build a business sustainably and successfully. So to kick things off, rather than me tell you about what this is about, I have a short video to share with you from a few of our clients talking about their growth with their studio. So I'll share that with you now.
Revenue is up and down. All of that dramatically improved when I started working with NPE.
We grew from essentially 24K when I first came in, and we got up to 85K.
We have had our best month ever 3 times in the last year, and we've been in business for 10 years.
We've been lucky enough to 10 times our revenue, from $30,000 a month up to $300,000 a month.
We went from maybe making about $3,000 to $5,000 a month to now we're over $20,000 a month. We're working on getting to $30,000 a month.
It was a big deal when I got to averaging 5K per month. Now I've been growing and growing, and I'm getting all the way up towards 18K. In the first year, I was probably making then 15,000 a month. And now I've surpassed 40,000 a month. There's some months going up to 60,000+ a month as well.
$60,000 in the first year. And then last year was like 320,000. We're working towards getting to 500,000.
We had about 35 members when we first started. At the moment, we're sitting at about 100 members. We're actually on track to make 500,000 at the end of this financial year. Profit-wise, we'd be looking at least $10,000 a month.
My business revenue and profit has improved from making $7,000 a month to $20,000 a month. My client base has gone from 24 clients to 75 clients.
My revenues quickly multiplied many times over. We're now averaging $40,000 a month. I am training up to 5 clients at the same time.
So since we started working with NPE, our income has grown and our client base has grown. So we were making maybe 12K a month if we were lucky, and now we're consistently making over 50K. And we had like 45 clients, and now we have 170 clients and still growing.
All right, so that's what we're here to talk about.
Revenue.
Hold on, there we go. Growing your client base, increasing profits, and building your team. And for those of you, this is your first workshop with us and the first time you're hearing about NPE, we have been around since 2006. So we have served in that time over 53,000 fitness entrepreneurs in 96 countries. And as you heard, we operate in the US, Canada, UK, and Australia predominantly. And many of the top brands you would know, recognize either have been or are current clients of NPE today. So there's not a challenge we haven't dealt with many, many times before in building a successful fitness business. And today we're going to talk about really 3 things you're going to hear me speak to. Number 1, strategy. It's the most important thing in business. You got to know where you are, where you want to go, and the direction you need to head to get there. What are the things you're focused on that are going to move you in the right direction so you don't just keep repeating the same thing you did last year. When you're clear on strategy, then it's all about the tactics. What is the step-by-step process you need to go do to get there? And what are the tools you need to get the job done, right? If I want to build a house and I've got the blueprint to build a house, but I don't have a hammer, nails, and some wood, it's not going to happen. And then the last thing you're going to hear me talk about is execution. Execution is all about how do we keep the focus on doing the right things consistently over time to win, right? And it's kind of like fitness, right? You can write a client a workout. If they're not showing up to the gym several times a week for weeks on end, nothing changes. Well, the same thing is true in business. However, why is that so hard for us in these businesses? Because you're working early morning, midday, late night. Your studio has lots of operating hours. You have to be very reactive in dealing with challenges and things that come up that are going to pull you off track. And so the success in this business is all about how can we stay focused on the right things consistently to move the ball forward and have the right support around you so that when something hits the fan, you got to fire someone, you got to replace them, the heat goes out, whatever it might be, you can resolve those issues quickly and get back on the field. Again, for those who have just me for the first time, if we're not friends yet on social, come say hi. This is my Instagram, @FounderSean. You can actually hold up your phone and we'll take you right there, and love to connect with you outside the session. My background, I was an athlete, did a lot of sports growing up. I competed in professional wakeboarding for a number of years, traveling in the world doing events. During that time, I got certified as a personal trainer, loved working with clients. As I finished my sports career, my parents said, hey, it's great you've done this coaching thing. Maybe you should think about getting a real job. If you don't know what that is, go back to graduate school. I signed up for an MBA program and quickly realized I was in the wrong room. I didn't want to go climb a corporate ladder. I wanted to pursue my passion around health and fitness and figure out how to build a business that was going to provide those things to me that I wanted as a professional. And I started my own business, grew for myself to 2 locations, 10 coaches in Central Florida. And then I got hit with a big life scare. I got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Didn't know if I'd be dead in a year. Had to ask myself a big existential question, which was, if I'm only around for a year, what do I want to do the rest of my life? And the answer that came out of that process for me was help as many people as I could. I had friends that were studio gym owners that were struggling with all the challenges that small business presents. I had no vision to start a business. I just started helping my friends solve problems. And I saw them transform from doing like $2,000 a month to $20,000 a month, and a whole new set of challenges that arose from that growth. That led to forming NPE in July of 2006. And this has now been the last 18.5 years that we've been doing this work around the world. So again, excited to connect with you outside the session. Come say hi. @FounderSean is my social on Instagram or LinkedIn, Sean Greeley. Okay, so today We're going to jump right into it. You guys have made the time to be here. I know how busy your operations are every single day, and I want to make the best use of your time. At the extent you can be present focused, we're going to actually have some interactive stuff today. And we're hopefully going to have you leaving this session with more confidence, more clarity, and more courage to go make big things happen in 2025. And really, today we're going to share with you a lot of the big frameworks and case studies and swipe files that we're using right now with our clients to have best months ever across the world. If you like what we hear, or like what you hear and like we have to talk about, and you want to learn more, there's an opportunity to get a free coaching call. Essentially, what we do with people, especially this time of year, is help them look at their previous year, what's going on in the business, and help them put a personalized plan together of their top 3 growth strategies for 2025. And this is available to you. All you got to do is go to npfitness.com/kenco-call. And you can book in for a one-on-one session. We'll send you a report to fill out information on your business. We'll walk through it with you, and then we'll help you create a plan. Why do this for free? Well, because a portion of the people that we help create the plan say, this is amazing, and can you help me implement it? If we have a good fit, happy to walk you through a separate call with some of our offerings as well. But the plan is free. The call is free. All you got to do is just first come, first serve to grab it. So npfitness.com/kenco-call to grab that as well at any point during the session today. Okay, so to kick us off, I want to talk about 3 things, and really what are the biggest threats to your success this year? Because when you know the threats, then you can really create a plan to overcome them. Number 1 is competition. You know, we are in a season of tremendous growth in our market. And chances are, if you've been doing this for a few years, you would recognize that there are more brands and more businesses and more micro niche concepts around than there ever have been. And sometimes you walk into, any town now, and there's like across the street from each other, even in the same plaza, multiple fitness concepts. So a lot of competition. You got to have really a plan to do it right when you're playing with a market that is highly competitive and funded by a lot of brands that have a lot of data and testing behind them. This is probably the biggest shift in our industry right now is rapid model evolution. So we're seeing a lot of changes from, if you look back at the history of our space, what started in one-to-one personal training back in like the 1980s, before 1985, no one even knew the term personal trainer, what that meant. Then we saw the shift to CrossFit and group HIIT in the late 90s, 2000s, and that became really oversaturated pre-pandemic. A lot of those businesses closed permanently. Groups weren't around during the pandemic. And now we're seeing a tremendous shift since the pandemic, and more so really hitting now, where anybody who's got disposable income and medium to high income is buying as much health and vitality as they can. This is where you're seeing, investments in all kinds of high-end training programs. We're seeing a big shift back to semi-private personal training as a sustainable model. Individual prescription programming, yet some group and social support. We're seeing the growth of wearables and technology. We're seeing wellness and recovery being such an anchor of this space. And then even functional medicine and the medical industry, the lines are really blurring in between what is wellness and optimization and biohacking and so on. So these are things that you need to be aware of to really make sure that you are positioning your model in front of the changes that are happening right now, especially for the people who have the most money to spend, want to buy all they can. And you got to be ready to offer it to them. Lastly, we're seeing tremendous growth in technology. And this isn't just about chat, GDP, and robots that are going to fold your laundry, but really just to even run your basic operations today. So many people struggle with 20 different softwares, from one to be your website and your CRM and your email and then your social publishing and so on. And there's so much technical debt. People don't know how to really just run the basics to generate leads and close sales, that they struggle with how to get things off the ground. You've got to solve all these issues in 2025 to be effective. And often where we meet people is that they're dealing with all this kind of stuff and they're feeling at a point where growth hasn't happened. They've been working their butts off, but if you look back the last 6 months, it's flatline, right? We get a few clients, we lose a few clients, but really the business is kind of stalled out in terms of growth. If you're there, we get you, we feel you. We know what it's like to work hard and not see the returns of that energy and effort. We're also seeing, costs that have gone up, inflation that's gone up, people that maybe haven't adjusted their pricing enough. They have legacy clients on different rates. And there's just not a good enough financial model to really drive consistent profitability and cash flow of the business. If you're dealing with that, we know what that's like. There's nothing more horrendous than financial pressure in business. And we want to make sure you have a better plan for that this year. And then lastly is, even when you're really good at what you do, a lot of people struggle with how to build a team. And so, they end up in this place where they're a prisoner of their own success, that signing up more clients just means more weight on your shoulders. And it can really feel like, there's nowhere to breathe. We want to help you really deal with all those things. That's what we do every day, is help people increase the profitability of their business, drive growth in terms of top line client growth in the business. And then lastly, get some leverage with a team that can give you some freedom so you can get more of your time back and balance being a business owner with having a life. So we're going to talk about all that today in the plan for this year. And the first thing I want to start with is our master framework we call the NPE 7-figure fitness entrepreneur roadmap. So we've taken data from the tens of thousands of businesses we work with around the world every month, and we look at where's the revenue of this business right now, what are the challenges this business is facing, and then what are the things you need to focus on at this stage of growth to break through. And that's created what we call this NPE 7-figure fitness entrepreneur roadmap. And often we find is for any facility that's doing less than $15,000 a month, you're really in what we call solopreneur land. It's really you and the clients. Maybe you have a couple contractors that help a little bit, but basically you are the business. A lot of people think they need advanced sales and marketing at this stage, and they need to learn a lot of plays to drive leads. Really, the most important thing if you're sub 15K in revenue is to establish really good processes to serve clients. You've got to develop some great case studies that prove you can deliver value to the market, and some good processes that do that with consistency in the client experience. If you do that, you're doing it right. Next up, though, is arguably the hardest stage of business ownership. We call it the desert. It's between $15,000 a month and $40,000 a month in revenue. And this is where you're in a rock and a hard place, because to get beyond this stage, you've got to reinvest money, time, capital, all kinds of stuff with no really timeline on return until you get to the other side. And it's a stage that really breaks people in business. This is like the no man's land. You don't want to stay here. The key to getting out of the stage is really build the sales and marketing engine that can drive lead sales and revenue to help fund the other investments you need to continue to make to get leverage and freedom. Then we get to here, which is really we call stage 3 stable. This is between 40 and 100,000 a month. And really at this point, you've got some consistency in recurring revenue and profitability. And now it's all about creating some freedom for you in establishing great team that can help serve the clients and run the operations of the business. During the upper end of the stage is where people generally hire a GM that can run and lead the business day to day. And now your life dramatically changes. You go from being the business operator to really being the business owner, where you can step back, you can leave town for a couple weeks, couple months, and the business can run without you. Marketing still goes out the door, sales get made, clients get served, problems get solved on the field by the GM. However, the sweet spot to all of this is what we call lifestyle. This is, generally speaking, people that have been at this for a while. Once you've done one facility, then taking that knowledge and experience and depth of talent that you've hopefully built, if you've done it right, and now looking to scale that into 2 to 5 locations. This is where we see owners taking home between $500,000 and $1 million a year in personal income, which is tremendous. Some people never achieve that in their entire life. They've also got now time freedom. The GMs run the business day to day and handle problems on the field as needed. And then they've got an asset that is saleable when they decide to exit the business one day. People sell these businesses for high 6 figures, 7 figures as a portfolio group, which is tremendous, and really what should be the return on your many years of hard work. A lot of people don't get this, and unfortunately, at the end of the career, they turn in their keys and they sell some equipment for pennies on the dollar, and that's it. They got nothing to show for decades of hard work and effort. So we want to help you solve these problems, get very clear on what you need to do at each stage to drive continued success and growth. Now, quick check-in with you. This is a bit of a choose your own adventure moment in the workshop. And based on what you tell me, we're going to tailor some of the content today to who is in the room. So which of these best describes where you are right now? You can just put a number in the chat based on where you're at right now. If you're in the solopreneur land, if you're looking to open your own facility or your next facility in the next 12 months. Number 4, if you are, depending on your range of revenue right now for the business, if you're in 5, 6, or 7, or 8, let us know in the chat. And again, we'll personalize some of this. based on who we have in the room today. Okay, great. Thank you, David. Great. Let us know where you are in this right now. Okay, great. We've got 7, 5. Okay, great. 2, 6. Great. Thank you. Marion, Laura, Bellum, Chanchelle, and Stefan. Okay, terrific. Okay, great. Awesome. All right. Thank you, team. And yeah, so we'll adjust. Looks like we've got quite a few in that 5 range, and then some 6s and 7s as well. All right, so we're going to tailor a little of this content to where you guys are at and how to move from where you are to the next level in building your business. So this is our methodology. This is how we move people from left to right on the roadmap that's taken us 18 years to really figure out. We call it the NPE business growth system. Essentially, we are not a marketing agency. We don't require you to spend money on paid ads as the magic bullet to grow. We also don't just like a mastermind. We just kind of throw out ideas and leave it for you to figure out. We take you through 3-step process to really identify the major points of opportunity to grow the business this year. And number one, it all starts with strategy. So we believe in doing a comprehensive assessment, just like you would assess a client that walks in the door. We have a comprehensive assessment we do with businesses around these 3 areas of money, clients, and team. Money is the most important thing in business. If you don't have your model tuned up to generate revenue, profit, and cash flow, and those are 3 things that are not all the same, then you're going to really struggle. So we got to make sure your model and your financial strategy is very efficient to produce profit every stage. Once we're clear on that, then we get into clients and we look at not just leads, but we look at really everything that produces consistent growth in top line clients and revenue. Meaning if you sign up a couple clients, but you lose a couple clients, and then 3 months you're standing at the same level of clients and revenue, then something is broken in your business. And we got to figure out what that is so we can make those parts work together to have steady growth and increases. And then lastly, when you do that well enough for long enough, at some point you're going to say, whoa, I got too many clients. I got too many sessions, too many classes. I need some help to run this business successfully. And that's when we look at your design of your team and your operational systems that increase capacity of the business and give you some leverage and freedom. So these are 3 things we look at. We assess a business in total, and then we determine the strategy. Strategy is the what to do in business. Once we're clear on your top 3 priorities, and this is stuff we walk through in a coaching call with you guys for free, then it's all about, okay, great. Now that we know what to do, how do we do that? What are the step-by-step processes, and what are the tools that you really need to acquire and learn how to use to get the job done, right? And then lastly, once we figure that out and plug you in, and this is where we've got hundreds of SOPs we've built over the last 18 years and tools and so on that you can just grab and run with. Then we get into execution, and this is about keeping the right cadence of doing the work consistently week over week on the priorities, right, that you've determined from your strategy. And the extent you can stay in that pocket and container over time, this is how you move the business to the next level. And we recommend to really do an assessment of the business every 90 days to figure this stuff out for you. So second question for you guys, based on what you heard me talk about, these 3 areas of money, clients, and team, what do you think is your most important growth system right now as you look at the opportunities for improving your business this year? Is it number 1, money, the money math of your model and how you produce revenue, profit, and cash flow? Is it number 2, clients, you're ready to go, you just need more clients and members in the facility? Or is it number 3, you need some help with the team, or the team you've got isn't as effective as you need it to be to really give you peace of mind and run the business effectively without you? Is it 1, 2, or 3? Which do you see as your biggest opportunity right now for growth this year? Let me know in the chat. We'll give you a minute to do this. And then again, we're going to dive in a little bit further into these topics as we get into it. Okay, great. We got Marion is at 2, Stefan's at 2. Okay, we got 1 and 2. Great. Okay. So we're gonna cover a little bit of each of these today, but again, very important. When you identify what is kind of the most important system, this is where we want to start to dig in a little further to identify those priorities, and the tactics are going to be important for you based on a bit of an assessment with your business. And yeah, all 3 of these matter 100%. We want to tune them all up, really, is the answer effectively. By the way, we have a personalized assessment. You can take a benchmark health assessment. We ask you about 35 questions based on your data. You'll get some scoring back in different areas of the business and a 38-page report that'll actually walk you through how we think about these things in your business. We have 3 of them. We have one for solopreneurs that are really considered fit pros, one for studio and gym owners, our 7-figure fitness entrepreneur scorecard, and we have our open scorecard, which is if you're planning to open a new facility in the next 12 months, this is a very valuable one for you to take as well. So I'll put a link in the chat. You can go take the test. About 3 minutes, you'll get some great data back and a good personalized report for you to evaluate. And you can actually bring this with you to a coaching call, and we'll actually walk through it with you a little more detail and some of the nuances and help you interpret the data to get clear on your strategies for the next 90 days. Okay, so quick check-in. Based on what you heard me talk about so far and what prompted you to register for the workshop, what do you think is the #1 area that if you have a better plan for getting unstuck in this area of your business will accelerate your growth right now in Q1, the next 90 days to launch the business forward? Is it looking at your pricing and packaging? Is it launching a new line of business? Is it advertising, social media, sales? Is it hiring? What do you think is the #1 thing that if you solve for this right now, your business will accelerate rapidly in the next 90 days? So let me know in the chat. And we're going to, again, I'm going to try to cover as much as I can during the session here. And then also I'll put up for Q&A at the end as well. So let me know. We're going to play the thinking game. This is, in sports, we play on the field. In business, it's a game of intellectual, thinking in sport. And once you identify, what do you think is the constraint to the business that if we solve for right now is going to accelerate you in the next 90 days? So take a minute, give this some thought. Let me know in the chat. What do you think is your biggest issue to solve right now? All right, we'll give you a couple seconds to do that, and then we're gonna dive in. Okay, great. Kelly, systems and operations. Okay, great, Kelly. Thank you. We'll cover that in a bit of detail for sure. Okay, money to hire a partner, marketing. Okay, great. Yeah, and these are very related, right? We want to hire more people in the team, but we don't have revenue and profit and cash flow to do so. We got to go back and tune up the money model to be able to go hire again, right? And so on. So these are all connected in many respects, right? All right, lead and conversion. Okay, great. Money, great. And sometimes you got to recapitalize a business as well while you're working the financial model, and there's strategies to do that as well that we teach and we help people solve for. Okay, great. Marianne, that's terrific. Donna as well, great. At-home supplementation training, cool. Okay, great, love that. All right, so we're going to cover as much as we can here during the session, and then I'll open up for Q&A at the end as well. All right, so if you're on the left and you are right now have low profit in your business, you don't have a lot of growth, and you're doing most of the work yourself, and you want to get to the right, you want to get to the place where you got high profit, you've got a waiting list of people that want to get into the facility and work with you, and you have a very healthy team. A lot of people think growth is just about marketing. If I just get more leads, then I have more sales. If I have more sales, I have more money. If I have more money, everything works out. And it's just not, it's not that simple. Very often diving into leads straight away masks the root cause of some serious problems that have to be solved in your business in the right sequence and order. So we find the most important thing to address right now as you're looking at your business for this year is looking at your business plan and your financial model of the business. This is critical because we say business strategy trumps marketing strategy. If you're just trying to generate leads, but you aren't really clear and tuned up on how your business generates revenue, profit, and cash, then again, you're going to spin your wheels and not drive really output for the business. So number one, we look at who are you serving? What are you selling? What do you charge? How do you price and package it? What's the cost structure of the business? All these things give you clarity to tune up the financial model of the business to succeed. When that's clear, then you get into sales and marketing acquisition. How do we actually grow new people coming in the door and sign them up to increase our total client count? And then once you sign up enough people, you're going to say, whoa, I need some help with the team, with operations, with helping things to go when I'm not the one doing it myself. And that's we look at that layer as well. Now, what we find very often is some people have a few of these things worked out in the business well, and other parts are really broken or non-existent. And it's why you can work really hard and just kind of bounce off the wall and not seeing progress. If you worked hard last year and you didn't see growth, then one of these areas in your business needs to be fixed. and getting them fixed in the right order, in the right sequence, and the nuances of that is really critical to breaking through. Now, when you do, this is how you get to the other side. This is how you get to the place that you want to be and unlock the next level of growth in your business. So we're going to get right into this right now with number one, strategy and finance. This is all about optimizing the business model to produce profits and cash. Again, I can tell you a quick story that I was teaching a workshop up in Calgary one year, and into the day one lunchtime session, someone raised their hand and said, "Hey, when should my business be paying me?" And I said, "That's an interesting question. How long have you been in business?" She said, 2 years. I said, "Great. Well, what does your business pay you right now?" She said, "Nothing. I haven't paid myself for 2 years." I was absolutely shocked. And I said, "Well, how are you living?" "Well, I live with family and I borrowed some money and blah, blah, blah." And I will tell you that if your business isn't producing revenue, profit, and cash flow every month, then your model is broken. And this is what we have to find out why and what do we need to do to fix it. Because there's no worse pressure than financial pressure in business. And this is where we say with the right strategy for your financial model, your business should produce stable profits and cash flow at every stage of growth. We got to look at the money math of the business. And we got to tune it up to work better for you to produce all of those things. This is our framework we teach called NPE Make Money System to analyze this stuff. And essentially, the math equation for business is pretty simple. You look at your revenue, you minus your expenses, what's left over is profit and cash. And if you want more profit and cash in business, you got to increase revenue. You got to have a growth engine that's moving this thing up. And then you got to optimize and manage the expenses. And then what's at the end of the game, optimize the different types of profit in the business so that you keep more of what you earn. Right now, that is the simple but not easy math of business success. Because within that, there are a ton of things we look at in terms of what are the types of clients you're focused on serving in the market? What's on the menu when I walk in the door? What do you sell and how much do you charge for it? How do you bundle it? What do you get when they buy? Right? There's an infinite number of combinations we have to determine what's right for you right now to improve the revenue model. And then we look at the cost structure. This is really, most importantly, your labor costs are going to be some of the highest costs you have in the business with your team. We also look at your acquisition costs. What are you spending in sales and marketing acquisition? A lot of people just blow money on like paying meta advertising or hiring an agency to do ads, and it doesn't even work. But they're spending thousands a month there because they don't have any other place to run and they don't know how to generate leads and prospects for the business. We want to make sure we got a really good foundation of things that are working and proven before we start just throwing money on the fire here to grow. So we look at that, and then ultimately we've got to look at, again, how do we tune up the different types of profit to keep more of what you earn? And all these things we tune up to make the business model work better. Now, I'll tell you some of the most common mistakes we see most of all here is that people are selling the wrong thing to the wrong people. What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you that if you are attracting people that are really price sensitive, churn out very easily in the business, and difficult to work with, that is not a recipe for success in the boutique studio gym space. You want to be focused on premium clients. So people that spend more, stay longer, are a joy to work with, you'll love work with, and they're happy to pay and refer people to you. Now, what does that mean? Well, I'll tell you, there's lots of different successful business models in fitness, but in the coaching space, there's really some key factors you got to focus on. So these are two very successful businesses. On the right, you'll see Planet Fitness. They charge $10 a month for access to gym equipment. And frankly, most people don't go to the facility, as you know, because they already walked in the door. They couldn't operate the business day to day. Versus on the left, this is Exos, and they charge $30,000 per year per client. You're seeing the rise of Equinox, now $40,000 a year health club membership, and many other premium models. They focus on people who have money to invest and are buying as much health and wellness as they can, and really asking for everything to optimize this area of their life. Now, if you are in the business of selling coaching, you want to be more like Exos, and you want to be far, far away from anything that looks or smells or feels like Planet Fitness in your model and your brand. And the difference is who they focus on serving. They focus on serving a very different type of client with a very different type of offering and what's on the menu. And they, of course, price and package it a different way as well. And these are the things that are the most important questions to answer in business that form the foundation of your business plan and business strategy. And before we do anything as far as lead generation, we've got to figure out how do we tune this up to make this work better for you right now. And we get clear. This is like sharpening the axe before you cut down the tree. Other things we want to understand is that we want to sell programs, not sessions. Well, what's the distinction? Sessions are the things that we do with clients when they walk in the door. However, it's not what people buy nor what they want. No one ever changed their life from a couple sessions or a couple workouts. So really selling our services in that type of modality sets up the wrong premise, because there's kind of arbitrary value of what I'm going to pay for a session. Session doesn't really mean a whole lot to me. I do it, but I got to do a lot of them, right? And so what we want to focus on is selling a program. A program is a curated path by a subject matter expert to achieve a big goal or solve a big problem. And people will commit to 12 months here at a premium price, and you have a lot of price elasticity because there is certainty of success with an outcome they want to achieve. That's why we do this thing, because we want the benefit. We want the outcome. And again, this is where you want to lead. Selling a program, don't sell sessions or workouts. The other thing you want to understand is that you want to be focused on clients with medium to high income that are committed to solving medium to big problems or goals. This is where the most value for your business will come from. This is where you can charge, instead of charging $50 a session, you can charge $100, $150, $250 a session for the same amount of time, just based on who you're serving and what they care about, because you're focused on speaking and solving to that problem. This is where we drive 10x the profit for the same amount of time invested in your business. One of the things I tell people is that if you're choosing a market that has to think about they're going to either pay rent or pay you, you've already lost. You've chosen the wrong market to serve. You want to be focused on serving clients who, it doesn't matter if interest rates go up, the price of gasoline goes up, bread costs more, like they're not going to change what they have to commit and invest in this area of their life. And that is the ideal client for fitness services, and to maximize and risk mitigate the future of your business. The other thing you want to understand is how you position yourself. There are tens of thousands of personal trainers, fitness facilities that serve everybody. They're a dime or a dozen. And in this market, you want to be focused on becoming a specialist, someone who is specialized in solving a particular problem for a particular type of client, that helps you stand out from the crowd and helps people feel like you really get them and you can help them. And over time, become an expert, right? Really be known as best in class for who you are, what you do, and a ton of case studies and a ton of great content featured in media and so on. This is, again, where you can charge 2 to 5 times the same rate for the same amount of time, or sorry, 2 to 5 times the rate for the same amount of time that you put into serving the client. And again, this is where when someone has a big problem to solve or goal they want to achieve, they go buy the best they can buy. They don't look for average or cheap. They look for the best. And this is where you want to be positioned to, again, drive the most success with your business and progress in this direction this year. Now, a couple case studies I'll share with you. We had a facility here that was struggling, that actually dipped down to the lowest month of revenue, $24,000 a month in revenue. They were operating in the red, and they came in and said, how do we fix this stuff? And we looked at their client base. We helped them analyze the data, and we determined that their best clients were age 50 plus. And so we helped them rebrand and reposition some of the messaging to be the #1 rated personal training studio in Los Gatos for adults 50 plus. We took some photos of the 50-year-old plus clients. We updated some of the branding on the website, and then we relaunched a campaign with new packaging pricing that was really tailored to serve this market. And within 30 days, they went from doing $24,000 a month in recurring revenue to $40,000 a month in recurring revenue. So instantly back in the black and really steady with revenue, profit, and cash. And they've gone on and grown now to, in December, they did $93,000 for the month of revenue. And they're set to really top out at about $140,000 they expect to hit by July with the growth trajectory they're on right now, and then planning location number 2. So when we rework the business strategy, this is how you really start to unlock and accelerate growth for your business in a powerful way. So this is really the steps here of this first area. You got to look at the money math of what your business is doing. So look at who you're serving, what you're selling, how much you're packaging, pricing it for. How do we optimize that against the labor costs and what we call the gross profit margin of the business? And then once your menu is set, your model is set, it's tuned up, then it's time to go to work in filling up your client base. So number 2, we're going to talk about sales and marketing. When we're clearing the financial strategy, what do we need to do to go sell out our programs? And that really should be your mindset, is not how to just generate a couple more leads, but how do I create more demand than supply? So I have a wait list, because when you have a wait list, now you can kind of pick and choose who you want to serve. You can raise your prices. You can feel confident about reinvesting in expansion from a really stable place. And leads are like gas in the tank for your business. We got to have leads coming in the door to really grow. We say with the right systems for the business, you should be doing that, just that. You should be selling out your programs and creating a wait list to join. That's the mindset you got to take into marketing your business. And now this is our second framework we teach called the Get More Clients system. And we look at not just one area of lead generation, but we look at the relationship of marketing and sales and client success and how they all fit together to drive sustainable success. Again, I'm going to look at, where were you 90 days ago in terms of your top line number of clients and revenue, and where are you today? And did we consistently increase the clients and the revenue quarter over quarter? We have some clients over here who've been 18 quarters in a row. They've had growth every single quarter because these things are all working really well together in the business, and that through line matters. A couple things I'm going to talk about briefly here is number one, sales, because sales is the most important thing. That's how you actually grow. It's selling, right? You don't grow by leads and followers. You grow by sales. We're going to talk about sales first, and we're going to talk about how do we feed the sales machine, because you can't sell the leads you don't have. So we got to have this working together. Now, sales is so critical. And I'll tell you that even when you've been doing this a long time, things get dull. They get kind of stray away. We lose confidence. We get new staff members. They don't really learn our tools or process very well. And what happens is we have a lot of inefficiency in the model. And where do you learn this stuff? You don't learn it in school. No one teaches you sales at university. You don't learn sales when you get certified. Yet it's the most important system and skill in the business to generate revenue, right? So where do you learn it? Well, there is no place to learn it. This is like random YouTube videos and podcasts, but that's not really a system of learning to install in the business. And we find that most people are just kind of winging it. They close about 50% of the leads they generate. And we got to move that towards closing 80, 90, 100% of people that walk in the door on premium priced long-term programs. That's what creates stability and recurring revenue in your model. This is the system we've been teaching for 18 years, actually February 2007. So coming up 18 years next month, we introduced this system to the world. It's been known now over the last 18 years as the number one system for fitness service sales, specifically in medium to high ticket fitness service sales in the industry. We call it auto closer. And there's 7 steps we teach to the system, starting with number one, pre-qualification. We want to make sure that anybody you sit down and have a conversation with, they need to understand 3 things. They need to understand what's involved in your program and the investment to join. They have to be able to afford you. Number 2, they have to understand what is the process to become a client, whether you're using different types of offers or paid trials or paid assessment or free consult or whatever it might be. They need to understand the process to become a client. And then you need to make sure that they are the decision maker. And as we move up to higher ticket offerings, sometimes there's other decision makers involved to make a decision to join. Make sure when you have people that can afford you, understand the process to become a client, and they can make a decision, then you are set up for success, and you're more than halfway there to signing up the right people into the business. And then we teach the other parts of the system and how to operate at every point in the client journey process to bring people into the business on, again, long-term premium price program. Now, I'll tell you one of the most important assets here. And we certify professionals, we certify teams. We actually do role play every single week, multiple time zones around the world. Train in sales. And I believe if you are in the function of selling, you should be practicing and tuning up your skill sets every single week. Until you sell the business. You have to have this sharp to perform. Jumped in, did some yesterday with a client who had a new admin and had really lost confidence in some things. And we tuned up the script, we role played it, and then bam, instantly the next few days, book 5 appointments. So we got to make sure we get all areas tuned up to perform. And again, the most important asset of all of this will be what we call a sales presentation. Now, we recommend having a visual presentation for sales. Why? Well, because when we go buy physical products, we go to like the Apple store at the mall and I play with an iPhone. I can hold in my hand what I'm going to buy. And I know what I'm buying. I can test it out. I can demo it, and I know what I'm purchasing. When I go to buy a fitness coaching service or a program, I don't really know what I'm buying. I know there's people getting sweaty in a gym, but I don't know what I get. I don't know how it's going to help me achieve my goals. This is why even people that sign up quit in a few weeks, because they don't really get what they need to do and how to use the program to succeed. They're confused and overwhelmed and lost. So we recommend having a visual presentation, essentially a slide deck, that walks people through 5 steps and helps them understand what they're buying and really what is required of them to be successful. When we help to create clarity of how to succeed, we help more people win. Now, the 5 things you want to have in a good presentation is, number 1, have a visual of your process that really teaches your process, teaches your methodology. What are the steps someone should take in your program to be successful? And then we want to break down each one of those steps, teaching them, why does this step matter? Why do we do assessments? Why do we do an overhead squat assessment, for example? And what does that teach us about your stability and mobility before we go load a joint in a strength movement, right? A lot of people just jump right into putting weight on the bar and they get hurt and then they're out for 6 months with surgery, right? Versus we do an assessment, we do a risk profile, we then program protocols based off of that, and then again, set you up for success in your journey, right? Very important. Explain what your process is and why it matters. You should also know what are the 5-10 questions you get every single time. And if you wait for people to ask you those at the end, you failed. You want to make sure you address those questions in your presentation. We like to say, confuse people, don't buy. And then lastly, you want to present proof. Have examples, have case studies of people you've worked with, how you've helped them, results they've gotten, and share stories that are relatable to your potential clients. Now, if you don't have proof, or your proof's really old and outdated, we'll teach you a system how to get new proof from clients. And you want to make sure refreshing your proof really every quarter. Have that in your presentation, have that on your website, and so on. And then lastly, you're going to present your menu of services. This is where we recommend having good, better, best options and really tailoring your recommendation, not to sessions, but to sell a program, sell a curated path that's tied to the length of time it's going to take for someone to solve their problem or achieve their goal. So you put this all together, increases comprehension by 400%. And again, is a big part of throughput, how we get sales conversion at 80, 90, 100% of premium priced long-term commitments, which is amazing. When you can sign up clients for 12 months, you start stacking up recurring revenue, 12-month, really buckets of contracts. Then all of a sudden, one day you're going to wake up and say, wow, I got more money coming to the door already in the first of the month than I possibly need to pay all my bills and then some. And now you can focus on just optimizing every area of the business you want to work on, but you're not just fighting for survival, right? And this is now where you can operate much more comfortably in business and really plan for long-term success and expansion, which is where we want you to be in 2025. Lastly, we want to get into inconsistent marketing. Now, what happens in most studios is we get really desperate for leads and sales. We do some marketing. And then what happens? We sign up a few clients, we get busy servicing those clients, and we stop marketing. And then inevitably a couple clients finish up or leave, and then you got to go back to the drawing board and start again. It's kind of like joining the gym every January. You just never get traction. Versus we want to make sure we're doing things every single week that are going to generate leads every single day. You should have new people visiting your website, calling you on the phone, or walking through your door every single day in business. And to do that, we got to install some great systems that create consistency with lead generation. And most importantly, we help people create a comprehensive marketing plan for their business. We find most people, they've done some referrals, they paid an agency to do some meta ads that maybe have done okay, but maybe don't until they don't work anymore. And they don't really have a comprehensive marketing plan for the business. So we want to dive into what are your goals and priorities? Who is the ideal client? What do we say to them? That's your messaging. Then we look at your offer strategy of how do we bring people in the door to engage with you to see if this is a good fit. There's 4 different types of offers we teach, from free trial, free consult, paid trial, paid assessment. Which offer is best for you depends a little bit on the type of training you offer, as well as the type of client you want to work with. You pick the right offer strategy, we set up the funnel, and then we get into content marketing that really positions you as a specialist or expert. And then step 5 is putting together the lead gen plan that's going to drive traffic specifically to your website, phone, and doors. Now, we teach up to 5 channels of lead generation. And if you're a stage 1 business, you probably could need just 2. If you're moving up to a business that's doing 50, 60, 100 grand a month in revenue, you're going to use all 5 channels to generate leads for the business. This is great because you build a plan and then you can tune it up every 90 days to just grow with you as you grow and scale your business over the next several quarters and the next few years ahead. Now, mainly speaking, everybody here, if you want to grow this year, you're going to need to do more lead generation marketing. This is often becomes the constraint. Once you get everything else figured out, this is the constraint that's either driving growth or not. Again, you can't sell to leads you don't have. Now, why don't people do more lead generation marketing? Well, because they don't know which campaigns to run or what steps to run them. They don't have a marketing plan in place. They don't know what to say or how to write copy. They don't have good photos and video assets. They don't know how to design a good landing page. And they can be overwhelmed with all the technology. Fortunately, Kenko helps you tremendously with that and makes that part of this equation easy. But the rest of the stuff, there's still stuff we got to figure out. Now, this is where, again, any one of these things can really stop you in your tracks. When you start to put all of them together, this is why there's so much friction to grow and scale studios and gyms. And how we help people solve these problems is you want to get playbooks. You want to get proven playbooks that someone has tested and really put together and proven are going to deliver. Now, fortunately, we've been doing this 18 years. So we've developed dozens and dozens and dozens of playbooks with great campaigns that lay out exactly what is the strategy for the campaign, what's the theme, what's the offer, who's the target. This is the architecture of the funnel of the campaign. And these are the assets, right? Every campaign needs assets. You need landing pages, text messages, emails, postcards, flyers, ad copy, whatever it might be. And we have all this stuff ready to go to where literally you can just plug and play, upload your logo, change a photo, tweak a bit of copy, hit a button, and in 45 minutes, you can get a campaign up and running and live for the business, as opposed to 6 months and staring at a blank sheet of paper. So really important, you want to get playbooks and you want to accelerate putting them out into motion to generate leads for the business. Again, your website, your funnel is going to be really important with your primary offer. And then we got to look at digital templates for organic content and paid content across different platforms and short form content and so on. And then also print assets. What are we using for postcards, for flyers, for business cards, for signage, for all the things that are going to, again, create awareness and drive traffic to your website, phone, and doors. And essentially what we want to do is we keep stacking up your lead gen channels and sources, and we're driving traffic to your website, phone, and doors, capturing those leads, running in sales process, and outspits new clients and revenue, right? This is how it all comes together to start scaling your client growth this year. And what we start to do in the beginning is just help you stand up the systems that are going to turn on the machine. And then once you turn on the machine, how do we optimize it and how do we accelerate getting more traffic and more conversion in the machine? And this is how you grow and keep stacking quarter over quarter net client count and revenue growth in the business. Give me a 1 in the chat if this is making sense to you. You're with me so far. Hopefully you're with me and this is making sense how we're going to stand up leads and traffic coming to your business. Again, whether it be to your website, whether it be to your phone, or people just walking in the door and saying, tell me what you do here. That's the job. And then you run a good sales process and then again, outspits new clients and revenue. Okay, great. Kelly's with me. Fantastic. So this is the job to be done. When we do that well enough, you're going to get to the point you're going to say, wow, I need some help. And this is where we look at your team, how we increase capacity of the business, do more and do more efficiently, and give you some freedom, because eventually you're going to want to not come in every morning, not be there every night, take weekends off, be able to leave town for a couple of weeks and have things run without you, right? This is the point of being a business owner, is really to have freedom at the end of the day and not to be a slave or prisoner of your success. Now, unfortunately, in the early days of building a team, it can feel absolute chaos. You run around putting out fires every day, and every time there's a problem, everybody comes to you to how to solve the problem. And we got to create a place where you have order from the chaos and you get really support so that there aren't fires happening on the ship in the business. And this is where we say, with the right team and operational systems, your business should do a few things. It should be able to serve more clients. It should give you more freedom and really produce a financial asset that you can sell one day that operates without you. When your business runs without you there, that's when you have a really good business. And that's a true financial asset that's saleable for a high multiple at the end of your career, if and when you choose to sell and exit the business. So this is our final framework we teach, called NPE Team Development System. We look at the relationship of the people and the systems in the business. So what does it look like to recruit, to hire, to lead people, and really scale up leaders who can solve problems in the field without you there in the business. Now, I'm going to talk about a couple of those things with really how do we think about designing and the team plan, and then ultimately how do you develop people to be really effective in their roles. Now, I'll tell you one of the biggest myths here and mistakes people make is thinking that being good at what you do is what builds a great fitness business. And that's actually slightly off. You becoming the best coach in the world will not help you build a great fitness business. It'll help you being really good at delivering results for clients. But often this is where you get trapped. You get trapped training clients 30 hours a week forever while your health and relationships suffer, and you don't get beyond that. And the way you get beyond that is you have to build systems that drive predictable results, whether you're there or not, that give you freedom, right? That is the key to allow continued growth and scale of the business. And the way we do that is we map the entire client journey. We map what it looks for people to come in the door, and how they get signed up, and what are each of the touch points in serving them in delivery, and what it looks like to drive renewals and referrals at the end of the journey. And we build systems, and we train good operators to run those systems. This is where you want to have good operational systems, checklists, SOPs. We got hundreds of these things we built over the years that you can use, you can tweak, you can download, and then you train you and your team how to run those systems. The other thing where people get very stuck is in hiring. They hire the wrong people at the wrong time, and they lose money and go backwards. Very costly if you make the wrong hire in your business, versus getting really efficient at designing the team, hiring, and onboarding people to drive results and ROI. So this is where we look at the different functions in the business, and we break out what's an owner role versus what's a studio manager role. Those are not the same things, even if your name is in all those boxes today. We look at a membership consultant, head coach, coaches, what are the functions of those positions, and then start to put the right people in the right seats. And over time, back you out over the seats to where you're eventually just the owner, and everything else runs without you in the business. This is the progression path as you grow and scale the business, the client base and revenue, and the team to take over core functions of the business. And let me go here. This is where, again, we get into onboarding paths for new staff members, management tools for how to run meetings, and really keep everybody aligned in the KPIs that we look at that drive leading indicator results in the business. So just a little inspiration for you. What does it look like when we put all these things together? I want to share with you a brief story. This is one of our clients 5 years ago. They were absolutely broke, losing money, about break even in the business every month. And they said, we want to do this differently. They came to us, we reworked every part of the business, and they've grown from doing $30,000 a month in business to now last month, I recorded this video a few months ago, but last month they did $535,000 for the business. They're doing about $6 million a year in business, and their lives have dramatically changed in 5 years, which is amazing. And this is what it looks like when you put all this stuff together to do that.
We've been lucky enough to 10 times our revenue, from $30,000 a month up to $300,000 a month. NPE has been transformative for our business. They have taken us from group training to private one-on-one training that has exploded how much money we're making, our profits, our revenue, and our team. Now we've got general manager, operations manager, and that's taken Lockie and I out of the day-to-day. So we're not coaching at the floor at 5 a.m. every single day and then staying until 9 p.m. Now we're all focused on management and working on the business. And it's been a really enjoyable ride. Yeah, since working with NPE, we've been lucky enough to 10 times our revenues. Jim has basically gone from $30,000 a month up to $300,000 a month in revenue, which has been really transformative for our own lives. And then our team has grown from about, I think, 4 or 5 part-time casual trainers to now we have a team of 13, and they're all full-time.
But one of the biggest problems we had when we came to NPE was we had a retention issue. We lost a lot of clients at one of our locations, and we didn't really know how to plug the hole. So we've been able to build consistent systems to train our staff to make sure they retain clients, and then of course boost up our sales and marketing and increase our revenue. If you're thinking about sitting on the fence with NPE, all I would say is if you are a coach, then you realize the value of coaching. And if you're not being coached or mentored in your business, you're missing out on a tremendous amount of stuff that you literally don't know. When you get into these coaching and mentoring programs, you find out how quickly you don't know these things. And by ticking them off one by one through a really good process, a great coaching team, it just makes it way easier. And it gives you something to do every day. And often as a business owner, you can sit around not knowing what to do. And that's a huge waste of time. You're leaving all your potential off the table. So NPE helps you realize your potential.
All right. Well, to wrap up here, I'm going to go for Q&A in just a second. But growing your business, I'll tell you, it's not magic. As you set up your plan for 2025, you want to really just understand what are the key areas of the business. These are all the areas that we help businesses grow. And we look at your money, your marketing, your sales, your client success, recruiting, hiring, leadership. And we look at what is the keys at a level 1 business, a level 2 business, a level 3 business. And sometimes we got to go back. We got to fix some areas that are broken in your business right now. We got to fix it and then have stability as you start to build up and scale. And knowing that you don't have to do all these things. Your job as the owner, number one, is to have a clear handle on the budget, financial strategy for the business. But then you can delegate coaching to coaches and head coaches. You can delegate sales and marketing to a membership consultant. And you can eventually back yourself out of the people, leadership, and management of the business plan and systems with a GM in the business as well. So I'll tell you, we're on a big mission this year to help more fitness entrepreneurs increase profits, get clients, build awesome teams that give you freedom, and keep leaning into this work. Your business changes lives. I would tell you that this is, it's not easy, but it's worth it. If you've been doing this for a while, get really committed and get the right strategy and plan support around you to break through. Because no matter how if you've, like many of our clients, been losing money for all of last year, and then they get the right plan, and then bam, they 2, 3, 4, 5, 10x the business over the next 12, 18, 24 months. That makes it all worthwhile. So open up for some Q&A in just a second, but just to encourage you guys, hopefully you got some inspiration, hopefully you got some insights today. If you want to get very specific with getting a personalized plan for you and what should be your top 3 strategies for the next 90 days and for 2025 to transform, invite you to come check us out. We'd love to meet you. We'd love to learn more about you and your business, and we can be helpful. We look forward to connecting with you as well. So we'll put the link in the chat for you, npfitness.com/kenco-call. And I want to thank the team for being here and just invite your feedback. By the way, if I know we're about out of time, but I'm here for a few minutes. If people have Q&A, I'm happy to stay over a little bit and let us know what are your biggest takeaways from the session, or if you have a question we didn't get to yet that you'd love to have me answer about your business, please post it in the chat, and love your feedback as well. And again, if we haven't connected on social, love to connect with you outside the session. I'm on Instagram at @FounderSean.
Hey, thanks, Sean. Everybody, if you have any questions for Sean, please use the chat. I think he can take one question or two.
Awesome. Yeah, Kelly, thank you. My pleasure. And definitely want to inspire you guys to, I'll tell you, there's everybody here, you guys work so hard. I don't know harder workers in the world than gym owners and studio owners. And we want to see you all those benefits that come when you get these things in place and you get the returns on your investment. You get more profit, you get more freedom, and you get an asset at the end of the day with your business. So again, love any questions you've got. Looks like Marianne here. We help businesses. I mean, fitness is our anchor, but really, if anybody who sells skills and time, we work with and we can help potentially. I'll tell you some of the most interesting concepts. We work with people that have sold soccer coaching, fencing. We have had some dance. We had a ballroom dance facility as well. So, definitely encourage you, reach out, free call. We'll happy to unpack it with you, give you some great insight. If we can help you, we'll be happy to give you some further direction as well. If we can't, we'll just give you as much help as we can and hopefully point you in the right direction based on what your needs are. So thank you so much, Marianne. Thank you, Laura. Do we have experience working with Kenco? I'd say we've got, we actually have, we were just talking about this before the workshop. We have some clients been with us a long time at NPE that were clients of Bookie before Bookie became Kenco, and been using it for many, many years. And so, yes, happy to give you some direction there as well. And Christina, maybe you can answer that question for Christina on Kenco specifically, on Kenco services and Kenco software. I think I'm sure someone from the team from Kenco can reach out to you, Christina.
Hey, Christina, we'll reach out to you. Just to let you know, it is a monthly subscription-based platform that you can use to manage your studio or any fitness business that you run. We'll take down your email ID if you can drop it in the comments, and we'll get in touch with you.
Awesome. Okay, well, team, great to meet you all. I've got to run to another appointment here. I'm sure you do as well. Thank you guys for being here. If we haven't connected yet, come say hi on social. Love to see you. I'll tell you, I've been doing this for now 18 years. I've been helping businesses around the world, and this is, I'll show you a picture of my family. This is my son, Bo Jackson Greeley, for all the sports fans of the house. He's 5 years old. I got a couple of twin boys now that are 18 months old. So it's been a very busy year and a half at home for me. And, business is more meaningful to me than ever, what it means to be able to provide for you, provide for those you care about, and really impact the world in a positive way. So for my family and yours, thank you for the work that you do. Thanks for being here. Thanks for fighting the good fight. I look forward to hopefully connect with you in the future. Come say hi on social, and hope to see you at an event down the road. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, everybody, for
Okay.
joining.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.